Today, we are going to dive into understanding the California dashboard. By the end of this video, you will know how Bumblebee Elementary received a yellow on the California dashboard in 4 easy steps. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to answer a key question. What is the California School Dashboard and why does it matter? The California School Dashboard is a tool that shows how schools are doing in areas like math, language arts, attendance, and school climate. It helps parents, educators, and communities understand how well a school is supporting all students and where there's room to grow. Each area is rated using a color from red, which represents low, to blue, which represents high. But it's not just about how students are doing right now, it also looks at how much they're improving over time. For example, a school where students are still below grade level but making strong progress might receive a higher color rating than a school where scores are high but not growing. This helps recognize schools that are moving in the right direction, even if they haven't reached the top yet. As you see on this slide, here are the dashboard results for Bumblebee Elementary in English Language Arts. We can see that they earned yellow, and we can also see that right below the colors it says 9 points below standard and increased 11 points. But what does this all mean? Let's get started. The first step is figuring out what the state calls distance from standard. But first, I want you to think of standard as the goal. When a student meets standard, it means that they have reached the goal. Let's take a look at Bumblebee Elementary. And let's pretend that these 6 students represent all of the students who took the Smarter Balanced test in June of 2023. Now, let's say that in order to meet standard, a student had to score a minimum of 100 points, which is represented by the green line. As you can see, there are 3 students who received scores above 100 and 3 students who scored below 100. Mary is 3 points distance from standard, or another way of saying it is that she is 3 points above standard. Now let's move on to Adam. He had a score of 120. How far from standard is Adam? Adam is 20 points distance from standard, or we can also say he is 20 points above standard. Moving on to Isabel with a score of 113. What is her distance from standard? Isabel is 13 points distance from standard, or 13 points above standard. Now let's take a look at Jorge. With a score of 70, we can already see that he did not meet standard because the goal to meet standard is 100. So, what is Jorge's distance from standard? Jorge is minus 30 points from standard, or another way to say it is that he is 30 points below standard. Take a look at Aaron with a score of 90. What is his distance from standard? Aaron is minus 10 points from standard, or 10 points below standard. Finally, we have Arlene with a score of 50. How would you describe her distance from standard? If you said that she is minus 50 points distance from standard, give yourself a high five. If you said that she is 50 points below standard, that is also correct. So now that we know each student's distance from standard, it's time to get an average for all students. Step 2. Finding the average distance from standard for Bumblebee Elementary. To find the average, we need to add each student's distance from standard and then divide by 6 since there are 6 students. First, let's add 3 plus 20 plus 13 plus negative 30 plus negative 10 plus negative 50 equals negative 54. I'll bet this took you back to the days of pre-algebra. Next, we divide by 6 because there are 6 students at Bumblebee Elementary. Negative 54 divided by 6 equals negative 9. So, in 2023, Bumblebee Elementary had an average distance from standard of negative 9. Or another way to say it is that on average, they were 9 points below the standard. Now that we know the average distance from standard, we are ready for step 3. The California dashboard assigns a color by looking at current status, which in 2023 was minus 9 points from standard. but they also look at the change between the current year and the previous year to see if the school has improved or declined. In 2022, Bumblebee Elementary was minus 20 points distance from standard. Here is Bumblebee Elementary's distance from standard in 2022. And here is Bumblebee Elementary's distance from standard in 2023. Even though they are still below standard, we can see that they actually improved and got closer to meeting standard. So how much did they grow? Well, what is the difference between 2022 and 2023? Bumblebee Elementary had an improvement of 11 points. Finally, we can determine how Bumblebee Elementary got a yellow on the California dashboard. First, we look at their current status in 2023, which was minus 9 points. When we look along the vertical performance level column, we see that minus 9 puts the school at a low performance level because low includes any distance from standard between minus 5.1 and minus 70 points. Next, we look at the performance level along the first row, and this row represents the change from the previous year. We already determined that the change from 2022 to 2023 was positive 11 points. That places Bumblebee Elementary on the increased column because that one includes all scores between 3 and 14.9. Finally, we see where these statuses meet, and we can see that they meet in a yellow box. And that's how Bumblebee Elementary earned a yellow in English Language Arts on the California dashboard. 9 points below standard represents their average distance from standard in 2023. And increased 11 points represents the change from 2022 to 2023. Now that you have a better understanding of how the California dashboard assigns color levels, it's time to take a look at how your school is doing. Just head over to www.casschooldashboard.org. We hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.